We've already talked about how you guys had 6 teams on your schedule who are in this tournament. We talked about Michigan and Michigan State. Who is the best of the rest? I think the best matchup to me, you got Arkansas and Kansas going up against each other. You saw both of those two.
Yeah, we played both of them. I'm going with Arkansas in this game. I think Kansas is probably a little better team. Arkansas's point guard is supposed to come back. Boogie Flan is supposed to come back and play. If they do, that'll give them a jolt. I just think after what's happened to Cal and what he's gone through, from a personal standpoint, maybe I just want him to win. And I think that I've got them going to the Sweet 16. I think it would be really cool if they did. And Kansas, well, I've watched them play since we played them, and it wasn't quite the Kansas that we've played before, and then their season kind of went that way. As you go through this, though, I think there's some great matchups. I think the Kentucky-Illinois matchup is going to be a really good one, too, if those two get against each other. I think that'll be a great game. Another good game is the Creighton-Louisville game in the opening round. I think, I took Creighton. I don't know if that's the right pick or not, because I think Louisville's underseeded. But I love Creighton. I love the way they play. But that should be one of the best opening round games that we have.
And that's in the South. That is in the same region
Yes.
as Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the potential to be the big upset, the Oakland of this year's tournament?
I like High Point. I think there are a lot of 12-5 matchups. I don't see from, I'd love to say Robert Morris because they're from our league, but I don't. Alabama's just. They're going to have a real hard time with Alabama. But from the 14, 15, and 16 seed line, I don't look at that this year and say, oh, that one could happen. There are probably a lot of people last year that looked at it and said, well, Oakland can't beat Kentucky either. So you never know. But I don't see one there. I see a bunch of 12-5s, but High Point is mine. They won their league a year ago, got upset in their league championship game. They had a lot of players back. They're very, very talented. I've watched them on tape. They're a good basketball team, but they're a veteran team. They're old. And old teams win in this thing.
All right, how far do you have Michigan and Michigan State? I've
got Michigan State all the way to the Final Four. My Final Four teams are Michigan State, Florida, Duke, and then the biggest, surprise, I think, to go to the Final Four, I don't think a lot of people will have this, is Tennessee. I just believe that this is Rick Barnes' year. They've been so close. I love their bracket. I think they're every bit as good as Houston if they can get to that far. And I don't see anybody in their bracket that they're scared of. They're a great defensive program, but this year they can score too. And so I've got those 4 teams in it. Michigan State, I don't think is going to win the whole thing, as I said earlier, but I sure would love to see it. And then, I've got Michigan winning 2 games.
Okay, who's your national champion?
Duke.
Duke.
Now, that all changes if Cooper Flagg isn't healthy. But everything I've heard is he's healthy and he's going to play and he'll be fine. And he's got to be 100% healthy by the Sweet 16. If they are, I just think that this is their year. I do.
He's helped us win our pools before. I think he's going to help us again. We appreciate you coming in and helping us here on Local 4 on Sports Final Edition. Coach Kampe, what do you say we make plans to do this next year with you guys in the tournament?
Well, that would be great. And if we can somehow arrange that we're in, I'll show up at any time you want, because this is such a great thing, and the tournament's the best time of the year for anybody if you love basketball. And so just being a part of this, I'll always come. I enjoy this.